She was only 21 years old, but one decision on a warm May afternoon would destroy two families and change her life forever. The woman was Hannah Payne, a property manager from Georgia, and the man whose path she crossed was 62-year-old husband, father, and grandfather Kenneth Herring. What you're about to hear is the chain of events that ended with Kenneth losing his life. On May 7, 2019, Payne claimed she acted in self-defense. In court, she testified that after witnessing a minor crash caused by Mr. Herring, she followed him only to make sure he didn't flee the scene. According to her, when she caught up to him and politely asked him to return, he dragged her into his truck and attacked her. Payne said that in the struggle, he tried to take her gun, and during that fight, he accidentally shot himself. Legally, after a traffic accident, everyone involved must stay at the scene and wait for police. And Payne did exactly that at first. Many people, after witnessing a hit and run, might also feel the urge to keep the driver from escaping. Payne claimed she followed Herring just to get his license plate for the police. But here's the crucial detail. Payne's car was never hit. She wasn't a victim in the crash. She was only a witness. And soon, you'll see with your own eyes the ego, the overconfidence, and the rash decisions that turned a simple traffic incident into a life-ending tragedy. Decisions that ultimately placed a 21-year-old woman in the crosshairs of a life in prison sentence. But before we dive into one of Georgia's most shocking cases and uncover what really happened on May 7, 2019, make sure to subscribe to She Knows Crime, where we uncover the minds behind shocking crimes. Subscribe now for new true crime stories every week. Hannah Payne was a 21-year-old white woman living in Georgia. She had no criminal record, was in college, and worked part-time at a clothing store. She was engaged and liked to think of herself as a good Samaritan, someone who stepped in when others wouldn't. But on May 7, 2019, she made a choice that would change her life and take someone else's. That afternoon, 62-year-old Kenneth Herring, a black man, was involved in a minor traffic accident near Clarkston, Georgia. Witnesses later said he drove off afterward, possibly because he was confused, panicking, or having a medical issue. The crash wasn't violent, and no one was seriously hurt. But Payne, who wasn't involved at all, chose to take matters into her own hands. She got into her Jeep and began chasing Herring. She tailed him for more than a mile, even after a 911 dispatcher clearly told her not to follow him.
Hey, can you get his tag number?
Hold on, he's driving away. It's a red Dodge Dakota. Give me 1 second, hold on. And I'm catching up to him right now.
Okay, ma'am, we actually do not want you to chase him. We just want you to be safe.
I understand.
But in the courtroom, Payne denied ever being told by the emergency operator not to follow Mr. Herring.
You're going in the direction they pointed you, and you're on the phone with 911. Was 911 saying anything?
No, she was not.
All right.
There was kind of silence from the time that she had initially asked me if I had got the tag. I was still kind of getting my bearings, and I just started repeating to her, telling her, okay, he's going down Clark Howell on Forest Parkway.
So you never heard them give a warning of not to chase, or?
No.
That was an absolute lie. The dispatcher had warned her 2 or 3 times not to chase him and to return to the accident scene.
Okay. So, if you can go back to that location where the incident happened, it's because someone is actually on the way to you guys now.
So I will stay behind him until an officer can get to us, but until then, I'm not moving.
And then, in the courtroom, her lies shattered in front of everyone.
I actually called about 20 minutes ago for an accident, and no one has shown up yet. But I am under the impression that the guy that caused the accident, who ran the red light, is drunk, and he's gotten back in his car, and he's looking like he's trying to drive away.
Okay, can you get his tag number?
Hold on, he's driving away. It's a red Dodge Dakota. Give me 1 second, hold on. Okay, so he is going west, down down Forest Parkway.
Okay, so you couldn't get a tag number?
No, but I'm catching up to him right now.
Okay, ma'am, we actually do not want you to chase him. We just want you to be safe.
I understand.
Payne's lies quickly unraveled in the courtroom. At one point, she even told the dispatcher she was only following from a distance, but the truth was very different. She cut off Herring's truck, blocked him in, and got out with her personal firearm. She opened his door, shouted at him, and according to prosecutors, even tried to pull him out. Moments later, a single gunshot echoed through the air. Panicked, Payne called 911, crying as she told the operator, "He tried to grab my gun."
Ma'am!
Yes.
Ma'am! He just pulled the trigger of my gun in my hand while he was...
Ma'am,
I need a police
you were not
officer
supposed
now.
to follow him.
He hit my car! There's a police officer down the street. Tell them to come up here now. He pulled the trigger on my gun after he attacked me. Tell the police officer to turn around from the 285 entrance and come up here immediately.
She stayed at the scene as responders rushed in. Hannah immediately handed over her gun, while paramedics pulled Kenneth from his truck and tried to save him. On the roadway, she argued and pleaded with witnesses, hoping those who'd seen everything would back up the story she had just told 911. That Kenneth Herring attacked her and fired the gun while struggling with her. Kenneth was rushed to the hospital, but he didn't survive. Hannah was placed in the back of a police cruiser as officers began piecing together what had happened in the middle of rush hour traffic. There were several witnesses who had watched the encounter from different angles. After formally waiving her Miranda rights, Hannah Payne began telling officers her version of how the gun went off.
I pulled it out and I told her that I would shoot him. And it was so sweet. He grabbed me, my hand, where I had my gun, where I had my gun with that hand. He pulled me to him, and I'm pulling away, I'm just kind of sure. I didn't want to pull the trigger. He doesn't have anything in his hand now. I can clearly see he doesn't have a gun. He doesn't have anything on him. But he grabbed my hand. And we're going back and forth in the car. He's pulling it, he's turning it toward me.
Kenneth Herring was shot in the lower left chest. He died shortly afterward. When police questioned Payne, her story fell apart quickly. She said it was self-defense, yet moments later claimed she didn't really know what happened. Nothing she said lined up with the evidence, and every answer raised more doubts about her version of events.
I told him, you need to stop. You need to stop. You just caused that accident. And he's just like, who are you? Who are you? I said, I'm no one, but I'm on the phone with dispatch. I'm on the phone with the police. And he's like, yeah, okay, I got something for you.
So he appeared inebriated to you?
Yes. I thought it was alcohol.
Okay, did you ever smell any alcohol in it?
I never got coconut.
Even when you're at the window, like when you're having this, did you ever catch a whiff of anything, or?
I can't say that I did. Can't say that I didn't.
Okay.
I don't know with what hand, how he lunged it first, but when he lunged, it hit my phone. Knocked it out of my hand, and he grabbed
Knocked it out the ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it shattered the screen.
Okay.
And then he grabbed me, because he's pulling at me, he's tugging.
Okay.
So he's pulling, we're going back and forth, he's hitting, he's swinging. I'm trying to hit, but I'm also trying to pull away. And that's when he pulled, I told him, I said, you need to stop, that I had a gun and that I would shoot him. He's like, yeah, okay, shoot me, shoot me. He grabs my hand with the gun. He's pulling at it, and he's pulling at the trigger area, in the trigger. So when he was pulling at me, and that's when my finger, I put it on the trigger. Don't have my fingers on the trigger. I have it resting on the side of the trigger. And I'm yelling at him, telling him, I said, just let go, let go. And he's yelling, no, just shoot me. You said you were going to, just shoot me. I'm like, just let go. That's when his hand and my fingers were
in the trigger guard.
They were at the trigger guard. And he had a hold of the trigger, and the trigger was pulled. That's when it went off.
That went off.
How many shots were fired?
Just one.
Just the one.
Hannah Payne was arrested, but her case was delayed due to COVID, and it wasn't until June 2024 that she finally went to trial. She was charged with felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and weapons offenses. Her supporters argued that she had only tried to stop a dangerous driver, but the prosecution told a very different story. They said this wasn't about justice. It was about ego, and that she had made herself the judge, jury, and executioner. In court, the 911 recordings were played. Payne's first call sounded calm, but as things escalated, her tone shifted. You can hear her shouting at Herring, then a struggle, followed by silence, and then Payne crying.
Ma'am.
Ma'am!
Yes.
Ma'am! He just pulled the trigger of my gun in my hand while he was...
Ma'am,
I need a police
you were not
officer
supposed to
now.
follow him.
He hit my car!
Okay, you got the tag number.
But prosecutors questioned why she got so close with a gun in the first place. One of the most striking moments in the courtroom came when Payne took the stand in her own defense, and the judge allowed her lawyers to hand her a replica gun. Standing before the jury, her hands shook. The defense attorney then asked her to demonstrate exactly how the incident happened.
You had it. He was pointing it to say I and him in his seat. How did he have your wrist? Like this?
This hand was here, yes.
Okay. And the gun was here, he's pulling you forward.
Yes.
And you said he had you here
But
on this?
he was closer.
All right. So, and he had your shoulder with this hand, or what was this hand doing?
That he let go
He let go.
once he got a hold of this wrist.
So he came.
And he grabbed the gun.
All right, you tried to grab the gun like this.
Correct.
Okay. And where was your finger?
The same way that I have it now.
And when he grabbed like this, that shows his fingers are right there over the trigger.
Correct.
Is that a correct?
I mean,
So-
yes, but
So it's possible any of the 4 digits got into that trigger.
correct.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
As she handed the gun back to her attorney, Payne was asked what she had learned from the entire ordeal. That's the moment she collapsed into tears.
Having gone through that situation and here we are in court, is there anything you learned from this situation or that sticks in your mind from all this 4 years later, 4.5 years later?
That not everybody is going to have a reaction that you think they're going to have, and that clearly trying to do the right thing is not the right answer.
Think you're ever going to help anybody else, try to help anybody ever again?
But prosecutors didn't hold back during cross-examination. They pointed out that she could have stayed in her car. She could have let the police handle it, but instead, she chose to escalate. They highlighted text messages sent days before the incident, in which Payne joked about owning a gun and said she would pull it if needed. The prosecution closed with a sharp statement. This wasn't road rage, it was vigilante justice, and it cost a man his life. After several days of deliberation, the jury convicted Hannah Payne on all charges, including felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and using a firearm during a felony.
With regard to count 1 as to the offense of malice murder, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. With regard to count 2 as to the offense of felony murder, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. With regard to count 3 as to the offense of aggravated assault, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. With regard to count 4 as the offense of felony murder, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty. With regard to count 5 as the offense of false imprisonment, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty.
She was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole, facing the reality of spending decades behind bars. The courtroom was silent as the judge delivered the verdict, and the weight of her actions finally settled in. Family members of Kenneth Herring wept, while others struggled to process the tragedy that unfolded from one impulsive decision.
With respect to count 1, malice murder, the court will impose a sentence of life with a possibility of parole.
She claimed she was scared, but she held the gun. Kenneth Herring never threatened her, never pulled a weapon, and yet he lost his life. Think about that for a moment. If this had been your father, grandfather, or someone you loved, and a stranger followed them, blocked them in, and pulled a gun, would you call that self-defense or murder? It's a question that challenges our understanding of fear, responsibility, and the law. Hannah Payne's story is not just about one tragic moment. It's about the choices people make when they feel they are right, the danger of taking the law into your own hands, and how one decision can destroy multiple lives in an instant. It forces us to reflect on what doing the right thing really means and how ego, fear, or a sense of control can escalate a situation beyond repair. If this story grabbed your attention and you want more real-life courtroom cases, shocking betrayals, and true crime stories, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a next video.